Are you aware of any time in American history when an attorney general has directed the FBI to begin to intervene in school board meetings?
The point of no return is our last days of violence.
Hi everybody, my name's James and you're watching California High Desert Preacher. Today's video should be able to open the American people's eyes, especially people who are born-again Christians, into understanding the truth of everything that has been taking place recently in mainstream media concerning Joe Biden's administration unleashing the power of the FBI and the DOJ against parents who are speaking out against the sexualization of their school-aged children, where the federal government is now becoming Gestapos like Germany did back in World War II, going after freedom of speech and the right to be able to exercise your ability to protect and look out for your small school-aged children. But see, in this video, I'm going to point out to you exactly the reason why this is taking place, and I'm going to prove to you not only is Joe Biden and part of his administration, but there are many people who have been involved in the federal government who are involved in the sexualization, pushing pedophilia and sex trafficking children in America. So, you don't want to miss this video, guys. Stay tuned.
Charge, Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Monaco, I want to come back to this extraordinary letter and memorandum that the Attorney General of the United States issued yesterday. Practically every day brings new reports about this administration weaponizing the federal bureaucracy to go after political opponents. Frankly, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it in American history. I mean, for those of us who missed the McCarthy era, I guess this president is intent on bringing it to us, but with new force and new power and new urgency, unlike anything we've ever seen. Are you aware of any time in American history when an attorney general has directed the FBI to begin to intervene in school board meetings, local school board meetings?
I'm not aware, and I'm not aware that is not going on. Let me be very,
Really,
very
this
clear.
isn't about local school board meetings? That's not the subject of the memorandum? I thought that was in the memorandum.
The memorandum is quite clear. It's one page, and it asks the U.S. attorney community and the FBI special agents in charge to convene state and local law enforcement partners to ensure that there's an open line of communication to address threats, to address violence, and that's the appropriate role of the Department of Justice to make sure that we are addressing criminal conduct and violence.
At local school board meetings, let me just ask you this. Is parents waiting sometimes for hours to speak at a local school board meeting?
Furious parents in Virginia calling for an entire school board to resign after allegedly trying to cover up sexual assault.
You allowed a student who's currently charged with sexually assaulting a girl to be quietly transferred to another school. What other crimes are you people hiding? Do you people even have a moral compass? Resign before you face a federal indictment.
It comes after this father, remember him, he was arrested at that June board meeting, now says that he acted out after his daughter was attacked in the school bathroom and no one at the meeting would listen to him, as outbursts like his are labeled acts of domestic terrorism. Author Douglas Murray joins us now. Good morning, Douglas.
Good morning.
Pretty shocking when you hear his story. He says he was there to talk about what happened to his daughter in the bathroom, and that child, he says, and some other people, government officials say that child was then just quietly transferred to another school where he is being accused of attacking another student. What are your thoughts?
Yes, Mr. Smith became nationally famous earlier this year when he was dragged out of that school board meeting. Left-wing media portrayed him as an extremist of some kind. He's just been used by the National School Board as an example of domestic terrorism, as a domestic terrorist. And now he's told a more full story about what was going on that day by saying that his own daughter has allegedly been the subject of an assault in a bathroom by a gender fluid individual. The sheriff's office has confirmed that there is an ongoing case. So we've got to be careful what we say about it. But what this just highlights is that parents like Mr. Smith are not saying what they're saying for nothing. They're not making it up. They're genuinely concerned. And when people like the Loudoun County School Board just try to dismiss these people, the National School Board tried to call them terrorists, it shows that there's something very, very badly wrong across the whole system.
Here are what some of the parents in that Fairfax County area are saying. Listen to this. Do we have that soundbite?
It is chilling. It's intimidation, particularly with the school boards that feel that they are above reproach, they are above criticism.
You did have a wholesale takeover of people who have very far left policies, and you saw a foot go to the pedal. You know, this is a gas and hard driving to their ideological agenda, and they went forward and said, we're going to implement this, and it doesn't really matter if we have hundreds of parents show up at a school board meeting.
Douglas, that last lady, Elizabeth, she was actually on the school board a few years ago. She finished her term in 2019. And now this is the school board she served. This is the county she served, or the school district that she served. And she just pulled her child out because she said she's had enough.
Look, my spiritual beliefs about transgenderism and homosexuality is completely separate from this office. And I can keep it separate from this office. And that is not the issue that we're talking about here. We are talking about this type of filth being spread in our classrooms and being spread to our children. Again, I'm going to state this to you again. My personal beliefs and spiritual beliefs about homosexuality are not pertinent. I will fight for folks' rights to be secure in their persons every day that I'm in this office, but we will not allow it to be spread to classrooms and to children.
Lieutenant,
yes.
But how can that possibly be? You don't stop being the lieutenant governor when you walk out of the door here. You are who you are no matter where you're talking.
And you were introduced with your title at church.
When I make moves to stifle people's rights in this state, no matter who they may be, then you can come and see me then. Till I make moves to stifle people's rights in this state, the way the governor stifled my right to go to church, come and see me.
Transgender community saying that they've seen violence and harassment increase in the school since your comments surfaced last week. How do you respond to that?
I'm not going to respond to that at all, because that's always been the argument that whoever stands up to this type of stuff, we're spreading hate and violence. I would submit to you that I'm the one that's under attack right now with threats of violence.
Lieutenant Governor, if you're going to call this filth, obviously this is homosexuality or what have you.
Yes.
I've made this video to point out some very important facts. How the federal government is full of hypocrisy. How they'll come after parents for using corporal punishment to spank their kids. But all throughout the United States of America, a woman can go and get a full-term abortion and needlessly and unmercilessly slaughter her unborn child. You see, the federal government wants to use organizations that they say protect children like CPS, but actually come in and kidnap the children from their parents, declaring their parents to be unfit because they won't give them a vaccine or for some other stupid and ungodly reason. But they think they can control you kids. They think that the government can use the school boards, what I call the public indoctrination centers, to brainwash your children and to teach them the religion of evolution and how it's more important to your children to trust and go to the school and the school board and the teachers and public officials over their parents. And now the federal government and Joe Biden and his administration is trying to intimidate you, the parent, and to get you to understand through emotionally brainwashing you through a psychological warfare and an emotional beatdown that they are the ones who are in control and in charge of your children, that they are just lending you your kids and your grandkids. They are the ultimate authority and keeper of children all across the United States of America. I charge you, America, that we need to recall this president and the people that stand with him, because in my opinion, Joe Biden and all the members of his administration, right along with Fawcett, should be arrested for crimes against the American people. And the members of the FBI that carry out these ungodly and unlawful and unconstitutional orders right along with the DOJ and the DOD. I call for all these people to resign or for charges to be brought against them. The reason why we are where we're at right now in America is because America have been submitting totalitarian rule of government. We've allowed both the left and the right to take control of every industry and every facet and every area of our lives. And this is communism. How can they sit here and say that they've done what they have done because they believe that they're protecting the teachers and the school board members, when in fact it was being done secretly, that they were covertly trying to cover up pedophilia assaults and attacks against these school kids? There's always an agenda, and I'm making the accusation and the claim against the federal government. There are members inside of the federal government, even in the Biden administration, that are probably pedophiles themselves, that watch pedophilia pornography, and that are guilty of this atrocity against school-age kids. This is why these different departments and different branches of the federal government are attacking not only parents, but Christians and Christianity and Christian Judeo values, because they know we're not going to idly stand by, silently put up with this, and allow it to take place. Listen, if you're an American and you are responsible for this because you are standing by doing nothing and allowing this to happen, one more thing that I have to mention before I go. You see, here in the area where I live, in high desert communities of Barstow, Victorville, Atlanta, Apple Valley, Hesperia, and Phelan, and all this area, what's taking place here is simply this. I've gone to these pastors locally in my area and have asked them to join me to form a coalition because I was afraid this was going to happen. But they refused because you're cowards, you're cowardly, and you have no moxie, and there's no urgency in your heart, both spiritually and emotionally, to defend our innocent children. And you pastors will stand before God Almighty, and you will be judged, because you see, doing nothing and saying nothing is just as bad as doing the wrong thing. My name's James. You've been watching California High Desert Preacher. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Remember, I love you, my wife Kim loves you, but most of all, Jesus Christ loves you. I'm out of here.
316 did not come to the world but to save us.